What's up, you guys? Today I'm training my biceps, but I never like to train my biceps in isolation, meaning standing or sitting on something and just doing this. I know that's the way that it's normally done, but for me, biceps training has to have a little bit more of a functional carryover to real life. And I've noticed every time that I've actually had to use my biceps in any capacity, it normally involves some kind of involvement with my legs and my hips and the rest of my body. So I'm going to be doing two types of curls today. One is a stiff-legged curl clean, and the other one is going to be a squat curl clean. I'll show you what they look like. Let's get started. Okay, so the stiff-legged curl clean, it's just a combination of like a Romanian deadlift and a curl. So to get ready for my Romanian, I'll stand narrow neutral, toes pointed straight ahead. I bend my knees. I anterior tilt. I'm gonna, if my hip is a bowl of water, I'm going to tilt that bowl so that water or imaginary water is coming out the front. But as I do that, let's turn this bowl into a pot and my body's a plant. So if I bend my knee and I tilt the bowl or the pot as if I was wanting to pour water out the front, the plant, if you were to take a potted plant and tilt it, unless it's some kind of weird plant, as you tilt the pot, the plant or the angle of the plant is going to match the rim or the angle of the rim of the pot. So that's how I'm going to prepare to get into my hamstrings for the Romanian deadlift part of this curl clean I'm going to do. So here, and then I'm going to tilt here, and if I do that, then I'm able to maintain a good back position. I don't round my back, and more importantly, I'm able to instantly engage my hamstrings from top to bottom. Okay, these are 20-pound handles. By the way, don't pick up your weights the way I did. It's dangerous. These are 20-pound handles. These are for a Power Block Pro set that I'm going to be using. So these handles, they're not loaded with any plates. They just, as they are, they're 20 pounds. So if I bend my knees to unlock my hip, then I'm going to take my hip and anterior tilt it, both the hip and the torso. I'm going to let these now just hang free. I'm not going to try to, so I'm just going to let gravity put these in a position. From this position, I'm going to just push my hip back. The object is not to lower these as far as I can. The object is to feel as much engagement in my hamstrings as I can. I'm going to try and hold the handle straight across like they are a barbell. From this position, I'm going to slowly lift my chest. I'm not thinking of these bells. I'm lifting my chest, bringing the bells with me, and at the top, I'm going to clean. All right, bend my hip, anterior tilt the pot and the plant, pushing the hip back, loading the hamstrings. I'm trying to get as much of a loaded stretch into my hamstrings as I can. From there, I'm going to put my mind into my chest, lift the chest, overlap into the curl. Just one more time. Okay, so this Power Block set comes with two different handles, 20-pound handles and 12.5-pound handles. So I'm gonna put the 12.5-pounders into the blocks or the plates, and I'm gonna adjust my weight upwards. So each of the plates on this Power Block set weigh 15 pounds, and that's kind of a big jump. So that's why this set comes with two different handles, 20-pound handles and 12-pound handles. So if you switch them back and forth, you can increase the weight of your dumbbells by a more user-friendly 7.5 pounds rather than 15. Okay, so with the 12.5 pounders in play here, my bell now weighs 27.5 pounds. I'm gonna go again. Bend the knee to unlock the hip so that I can now anterior tilt it forward, engaging my hamstrings. I'm trying to feel the best stretch that I can in the hamstrings. Lift my chest. Okay, just doing enough repetitions to warm everything up. I don't want to get too tired. I did not warm up prior to starting the video. My warm up for all my exercises is just a lighter version of whatever I'm going to do. So, okay, I'm going to put these back in here. I'm going to switch out to the 20-pound handles. So, taking the 12.5s out, sliding the 20s in, adding back that 15-pound plate, bringing the weight of the bells up to 35 pounds. Another reason why I like to combine my legs and my hips, or why I do everything I can to make my bicep curl workouts full body workouts, my biceps are pretty weak, and I like to use, think of what I'm doing here as kind of the ultimate cheat curl, but I'm trying not to extend back this way, as in regular cheat curls, which is of questionable value. Okay, let's go. 30 pounds. I always like to start at the top, trying to square or arrange the handles so they're straight across as if I'm holding a barbell, bending my knee to unlock the hip, anterior tilt the pot and the plant. That puts me on the hamstrings, going for the maximum stretch and engagement in the hamstrings. Lift my chest. Okay, so just doing enough work to warm everything up, but try not to get too tired. My goal is to go as heavy as I can for one well-controlled single. Right now, while I'm doing the peptide therapy for my joints, I'm trying to maintain my training, but I'm trying to just do enough to still allow the joints to recover. So, trying to train as heavy as I can, but the goal is not to get too tired. And once I get tired, then the stress starts to go to my joints, and that's not usually what I'm looking for here. Okay, so now I've switched out the handles, 12.5 pound handles, but I'm coming back with 2 of these 15-pound plates. So going up from 35 to now 42.5 pounds. All right. Just gonna do enough work here to prime mostly my biceps for hopefully, I don't know, maybe 50 pounds, we'll see. All right, here we go. head rush. Okay, so here's what. Now at this point, instead of taking everything back, I can just take the 12.5-pound handles out, put the 20-pound handles in, all right. Okay, so now my dumbbells weigh 50 pounds. And for this old hoss, 50 pounds, that's a pretty good curl for me. So I'm just gonna focus on one good rep, and if that goes okay, I might add a little more weight. We'll see. Whoa. All right. All right. Cool. All right. Let's oh, what the hell? Let's give that a 57.5-pound dumbbell a day in court here. Let's go here. Okay. All right. So put the 12.5-pounders in, and I'm adding 3 15-pound plates. Total weight of these dumbbells is now 57.5 pounds. And that's heavy for me, so see what happens. Okay. Whew. All right, that was technically a little too heavy, but it's okay. Every now and then it's fun to go a little too heavy. I did have to lean back a little bit on that one, but that's not going to break the bank. And honestly, in life, if you have to lift something, if you're wrestling somebody or you're just having to muscle something real heavy, and your back can't take that extension, you might want to adjust your training so that when you do lose your good form, your body has got a big margin of error in place. Okay, so the stiff-legged curl clean, basically a combination of the Romanian deadlift and a curl, that is I prioritize that, or I put that in the beginning of this curl workout because that is the more difficult of the two movements I'm going to do. I'm going to, in a little bit, I'm going to show you the squat version, but because I am starting from the top, eccentrically loading the hamstrings and then having to concentrically use the hamstrings to accelerate the bells to my shoulders or clean them, that is from a leverage standpoint, a less advantageous position. While I talk to you, let me change the weights here. So I'm going to just remove one of the plates. I'm going to peel the bell back from 57.5 pounds to 42.5 pounds. And okay, so I'm not sure if I finished that explanation, but anyway, so this, like most of you I'm sure, can deadlift much more weight conventional than you can with a stiff-legged or a Romanian version. So similar mechanics in place for this. Okay, so I prioritize what we'll call the less advantageous position first, and once I max that out, I can now go to, I can fall back on a much more advantageous or biomechanically stronger movement. So now this is just a regular squat curl clean. It's basically a semi or a deadlift, combining just a regular deadlift with the curl, because I am not eccentrically loading here. I can just basically start from here. It's, number one, it's a totally different exercise in the sense that when I'm eccentrically loading the hams and then having to explode from there, that's an ability we need to do, but we also should be able to take an object that's at a dead stop or resting on the ground and be able to generate acceleration from that point up to the shoulders. For you guys that do jujitsu, picking opponents up or trying to move them, that's an important thing for you to be able to do. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Just make sure these are underneath the chest. So what's really important is when I am going down to get these bells, I'm pushing my thighs, I'm engaging my outer hip muscles to stabilize my femurs and my tibias. And when I'm bringing these bells out, I'm not just pushing down with my legs. I tell my clients, push out to get down, push out harder in order to get up. So as I'm coming out of this, I'm going to push outwards with my thighs as I drive into the ground, and I'm not focused on lifting these bells. I'm focused on lifting my chest and bringing these bells with me. Okay, so I'm pushing out to get down, I'm sliding back, so now I'm getting to use my inner thigh, my adductor muscles, making sure these are right under me. I'm going to push my thighs out, lift my chest up. Okay. 2 reps is good enough. The amount of repetitions that I'm doing, if you decide you want to try these exercises, the number of repetitions as well as the weights I'm using are appropriate for me. Depending on your training objectives, your age, everything else, feel free to add repetitions. I'm just doing the number of repetitions that'll get me to the heaviest single that I can manage with good form. And then if I do that right, even though I might exert myself a little, I should never end this workout feeling drained. We'll see. Okay, so I've just added back the 20-pound handles. These bells are now up to 50 pounds. Same thing, I'm going to push out, slide my hips back. I'm engaging, I'm pulling my thighs outwards, getting these right underneath me. and I'm going to push my thighs outwards as I lift my chest upwards. All right, here we go. All right, felt pretty good. I'm going to go back to 57.5 pounds. That pushing the legs out to get down and pushing them out and continuing to push them out on the way back up, that is very important. It prevents what's called valgus collapse, fancy name for your thighs collapsing inwards when you push off a squat or a deadlift position, because that's apparently not good for your knees. But more importantly, when you do that, you radically shift away from the muscles that you're meaning to train. So a lot of bad energy is going into the joints, and what's worse is that energy could have been used to train the muscles that you're trying to train. Okay, so on the stiff leg, this 57.5 was pretty heavy for me, and it doesn't feel like it got any lighter. But hopefully, with the advantage of being able to use some acceleration from the deadlift position, I'll be able to get this repetition a little better. Once again, it doesn't matter if I'm this is like the ultimate cheat curl, this one. And I'm fine with that, as long as once I'm up here, I maintain this position and I lower eccentrically as best as I can. I'm gonna get the benefits of this weight. All right, let's go for one. Pushing out. Go lift my chest. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take the 12.5 pound handles out. I'm going to add back the 20-pound handles. Oh shit. That's going to bring this up to 65. 65 is usually it's about, I won't call it my max, but it's all the weight I usually deserve to lift, you know. So we'll see how it goes. All right, pushing the thighs out to get down. Make sure my bells are right under me. I'm going to push out as I come up, focus on lifting my chest and overlap into the curl. Here we go. Okay. That was ugly. All right. And I kind of had to, you know, the old deep sea fishing thing. I had to throw that in a little bit, but like I said, sometimes it's good to train for when things don't exactly go your way, just in case that happens to you in real life. Okay, you know what? Here's what. Just for what do they call it? Shits and giggles. let's do something that is most likely too much. We're gonna bring this guy up to I think 72.5 pounds. And I know you're supposed to really commit to this kind of thing if you're gonna do it. And I am committed, but at the same time, I've learned that making or completing the repetition on any given thing that I'm gonna test the max on, I don't have to necessarily do that. If I just, as I'm coming off the ground, I've done this enough times, I'd like to think, to know when I can and when I can't, or when I shouldn't. So let's just see what happens. And it'll all be good. All right, here we go. Ooh. Have this weird thing where when I'm really nervous, if I adjust my pants, it gives me good luck. All right, here we go. Also keeps my pants from binding to my legs in a weird, distracting way. All right. Okay, too heavy. That was like that little head rush you get after that. Yeah. Cool. All right. But you know, it's Saturday. By the way, if that ever happens to you, don't be upset. Don't get frustrated. You still got something out of it. You know, as long as you, the part of that repetition that I was able to do, I felt like, although it didn't look like it, I was in control of that. And that's the main thing, right? So if all I'm doing right now is just getting a better sense of how to accelerate a heavier weight, then eventually that's what allows me to go past the previous weight that I struggled harder with. Okay, let's try one more time. Same deal. If all I do is get right here, that'll be fine. Okay. And then this evening I'm going to watch Physical 100, the second season. Love that. All right, here we go. Okay, right here. Woo! Damn. That must be how Juji Mufu feels when he trains. Just a tiny, tiny version of it. Whew. That was a rush. Okay. All right. Here's what. I'm going to, let's bring it back to 65. And let's see if we got that nice overloading effect that I was talking about. Dr. Aaron Horschig of Squat University, there's this Yeah, let's do this. He has this really cool name for using a heavier weight that you can't quite lift, so that a weight that's lighter than that but still pretty maximal, you activate enough muscle with that super heavy weight, so when you regress back to that lighter weight, the lighter weight goes a little better. Sort of like when you hike all day with a heavy backpack on and you get to base camp and you take that backpack off, and for a few minutes afterwards you feel like you're floating. Anyway, let's try. So we're back at 65 pounds. 65 pounds did kind of kick my ass on the previous attempt. Let's see, this will be my last rep, and then we're gonna start the weekend. Here we go. Okay. That felt all right. And we're done. I'm probably just gonna do a little joint mobility stuff that, is boring to watch. So if you're still here, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and much aloha to you. Bye.